Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Tim. Why you? Tim's giving me faces here, he's throwing me off. We're going to talk about Ash vs. Evil Dead, Season 3, Episode 7. It's called Twist and Shout. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. And this is a day later than usual. Honestly, we knew about this last week. I should have warned you, and I forgot to warn you it would be a day later last week. Apologies. We'll be a day later next week too. So, you've been warned this time, but hey. Blame Tim. He was off in Hawaii or something for the weekend. I don't know what he was doing.
Yes.
He was assaulting turtles or something. I saw some tweets.
I did meet some turtles. I did not touch them though. It's very illegal. They're very what do you call it? Endangered.
I did not realize it was illegal to touch the turtles. That is news to me.
You have to stand at least. I think I saw some signs saying 20 feet, some signs saying 30 feet. But I think it's like, they kind of come up to the beaches and stuff. So it's like you can get kind of close to them, but you really can't touch them.
This is sounding an awful lot of the same rules that when Stan Lee's at a convention and you meet Stan Lee, you're not allowed to touch him or speak to him.
Yeah,
So it's very
that sounds
similar
about right.
Yeah. So
Another endangered species.
oh, it's a really sad joke. But I mean, he's 95, so I mean, this is he's doing well. I mean, he's not probably not touching the turtles. The turtles traditionally live quite a lengthy life.
Yes.
Unlike you, who's doomed. Anyway, Ash vs. Evil Dead. So, this episode, the little baby Ash sort of went into a cocoon, a fungus skin cocoon, and came out fully grown Ash. And admittedly, this would have taken a lot of visual effects. I felt like he should have come out looking young, like young Ash from like Evil Dead 2.
That's what I was expecting, yeah.
It was kind of weird how he came out. He was like, okay, now he's like 55 Ash. Alright, okay, sure. Don't know why, but fine. Yeah. I guess the argument is he has to match the current Ash to take over as the prophesized one. I guess that's the reasoning. Yeah. So Ruby's got this diabolical plan in this episode. Ruby has this plan to convince Brandy that her dad is awful and she's the best, and it all kind of comes down to actually having her duplicate Ash. We'll call him I don't know.
I just think of him as Bad Ash, kind of from like Army of Darkness. He goes like, "I'm good, Ash. You're bad." Yeah.
Well, even when regular Ash sees him, he actually says something like, "Oh no, another copy of myself" or something like that. Yeah. He kind of references that this has happened before. But so there's a school dance, and Brandy's like, "Oh, I'll get dressed up. I'll go to the dance, and I'll try and figure out if everything you're saying about Ruby's true. If what you're saying about Miss whatever she calls her is true, we'll find out." And of course, Kelly's actually not Kelly. It's this other dark one who's inside her body, and she's kind of like sort of like, "Yeah, I'll be there, Ash. We can go do this," and it's all very planned. But the actual plan is, like, evil Ash goes around actually slaughtering high schoolers for the majority of the episode. And it got to a point where I was just laughing at how absurdly over the top it was, because he came out of the school dance and he was just like slashing at people, and Brandy was just like screaming like, "No, what's he doing?" It was all it tended to be, because I was actually wondering throughout the episode. I was like, is she going to like see that there's two of them this episode? Or are we going to go back to a couple of episodes of her thinking her dad's a complete raving mass murderer? And I couldn't have blamed her, because this was a pretty convincing plan, all things considered. It's just completely, blood spraying everywhere. Evil Ash is like just killing people all over the dance floor. Luckily, though, by the end of the episode, Ash does come in and she sees this. Because Ruby at one point actually throws herself onto the chainsaw. Because real Ash comes in, evil Ash is hiding. Real Ash comes in, and Ruby basically throws herself onto the chainsaw to make it look like he's killing her too. And of course, we know she'll survive. She's fine. She's Ruby. She's immortal.
Yeah. I think it's crazy though that like anyone would mistake that for like. I mean, I guess when you're panicking and in a crazy situation, you might not be processing everything clearly. But as a viewer, it's like very clear that she is thrusting herself into the chainsaw.
Yeah,
I think like holding it there.
Yeah, I think everyone else is like screaming and trying to get out, so they kind of don't really see it, and they turn around and she's on the chainsaw, and it's like, oh, okay, right. He's murdering someone again. Ashy Slashy, what a wacky individual. But of course, Pablo actually like talks to the real Kelly through the whole wall portal thing.
Yeah.
That thingamajig.
The rift or whatever.
And knows she's dead, and he shows up at the school, runs into, well, it's Kelly's body, but, fake Kelly, and basically has this sort of, like, standoff with her, and like, almost gets himself shot, the poor sod. But he runs into fake Ash, gets a vision that this isn't real Ash, and ends up fighting with him, which leads to fake Ash spilling into the dance floor, where real Ash is, and then Brandy sees both of them. Ash is like, this is what I've been trying to tell you, kiddo, and, actually takes out fake Ash pretty quickly, just shoots him dead.
Yeah, which is pretty funny because he only shoots off like a little bit of the top at first, and he's like, "Oh, you missed," and then he just shoots off the whole of his entire head.
It's a complete zombie decapitation. In Resident Evil, you're trying to blow off the head because that stops the Crimson Heads from coming back. That's what this was. What I did not see coming was Brandy's death. Now, admittedly, we've set up earlier in the episode that Kelly's soul is in this weird, scary-looking place. And at the end of the episode, when Brandy jumps in to take the dagger for Ash, because Ruby throws the dagger, we actually end the episode with her waking up in this same green, Silent Hill-esque world with some evil thing coming after her. So she's going to meet up with Kelly, and I'm going to assume they're coming back. I'm going to assume that we're going to get them both back at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I'm not sure how quickly they'll kind of go into it, but do you know how many more episodes we have?
3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I feel like maybe the last 1 or 2 episodes will probably be focused on. I'm assuming Ash. I don't know if Pablo, but at least Ash will be going into this other dimension or whatever and rescuing them.
I almost wonder if we'll get an episode, next episode will be mostly set in this place with Kelly and Brandy finding each other and, finding out more about this thing that's hunting them, and Kelly will already know some stuff, so she'll be like, hey, this is what I know and this is the rules, and
yeah, which I'm looking forward to because we only got a really brief glimpse of it, but I do kind of like the way it's looking. Like you said, it is Silent Hill-esque. It's kind of creepy. It's like a weird demented mirror version of
Silent Hill, or maybe a little bit of the Upside Down from Stranger Things, getting some of those vibes. Sure, yeah. And I think I'm excited because I think this is probably the most interesting the plot's got in this season. Because we spoke last week about the Knights of Samaria weren't that interesting, and that was whatever. But I feel like this afterlife world that they're going to, and I wonder if it's because it's because they were both killed by the dagger. I think that's the important part here, is they were both killed by the special dagger that can kill the demons and stuff. And I wonder if that's got something to do with it, and that's why they can come back, is because they were killed with this dagger specifically.
Yeah, maybe with if you're a normal person, it sends you to this dimension or whatever, and if you're a demon, it kills you and sends you to hell. Or but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to some of that stuff. I gotta admit, I was worried about Pablo in this episode. It's he keeps announcing when he's figuring out that these people aren't who they say they are. Pablo, you gotta play it cool. You just back away slowly, figure out a way to trap him, get him later.
I did like his trick though, where he's like, "Oh, I've been wanting to kiss you, Kelly." And we're like, "Wait, you've already kissed." I'm like, he's being coy. he's sussing out. He's sussing out the problem. So that was good.
Yeah, there was some stuff that I wasn't crazy about, but they I like that they kind of resolve it quickly. I think I mentioned it before, maybe an episode or 2 ago, that I'm glad that they got over the whole Brandy distrusting her dad thing, and then when it kind of seems like they're going that route again, it was but then they kind of quickly get over it.
The thing I felt with that though is that they went so far to have this evil Ash just slaughtering kids in front of her that I'm like, you know what? She should be believing this again. This is so far gone. But of course she couldn't actually kill him when she had a chance because she's had all these little memories and stuff. Maybe it would have been nice if she'd kind of realized it wasn't really him without seeing both of them. But for me, I mean, I think what they were doing was so convincing to show that he was awful that I couldn't really blame her. And then, of course, by the end of the episode, she sees that there's 2 of them, and We get her tragic sacrifice. I do think we'll get her back, though. I think... Because I don't believe we're not getting Kelly back. I feel like it'd be really weird to lose Kelly. So I feel like... And actually seeing the real Kelly in this world and then seeing Brandy go there too, I'm like, nah, they'll be back. I feel like we're not losing them. If there's even a season 4 to come back to, admittedly.
True, yeah. But they do seem like the kind of the core trio that... Yeah, if anyone's gonna survive, it's probably them. And
I mean, I could have seen Brandy dying. Like before she woke up in the other world, I thought, oh, maybe this was just a 1-season thing with the daughter.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them, especially because it seems like this is maybe like the most he's ever cared about someone like since like like Linda.
Which Linda?
Like from like the original movies and stuff, like actually having someone that a tragic love that is lost, as opposed to like he loves like Pablo and Kelly and stuff, but they feel more like his bros and buddies and stuff. While
I cracked that joke, Tim, because even in the original movies, there's a different actress played Linda in every single movie. But
yeah, I know. But yeah, I do feel like that she probably will come back. We kind of skipped over this part in the beginning though, but one of the highlights of the episode for me was, when the evil Ash, gets reborn as an adult, he still has the big fleshy chainsaw that he has to like saw off, and I just thought it was funny, like, instead of Ash having to chainsaw off his like normal hand, now we have like evil Ash having to saw off his chainsaw hand, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, no, that was good. This is probably my favorite episode of the season. Actually, I think it just had all these right notes of the absurdity. Ash like calling fake Ash handsome, and like hey handsome before he like goes to kill him and stuff like that. Just those little beats, and like Ash like sort of snickering to himself. He's like, security door, Mac Bahooty. He gets in really easily and stuff like that. Plus, there was a body count in this episode. This was essentially a slasher movie, which is something that Evil Dead's not really. I mean, that isn't a slasher movie, but this was kind of a slasher episode of Evil Dead.
Yeah. The at the end of the episode, I think it was Rob Taper. They were interviewing, and they have a little 2-minute clip or whatever, and they said that they wanted to kind of pay like an homage to those kind of like slasher movies where like they said it specifically in a high school dance because they wanted to have that reminiscent slasher kind of feeling, like specifically talking about stuff like Carrie, which I wouldn't really call a slasher, but that kind of prototypical like high school horror story, very bloody.
Who are these phonies making this show calling Carrie a slasher movie, Timmy? We have to get to the bottom of this.
I mean, I think they were talking more about like slashers in general, but then they said like, oh, and also like we're paying homage to Carrie. But...
Okay. I'll let it pass. I think. For me, what I was thinking as he was going around with the chainsaw, just like slashing teenagers as they were all sort of running, screaming, is I thought it was like a weird sort of twist in the genre where, typically in a slasher movie, they'll hunt down one by one, sort of, once one separates from the group. Whereas this was like, no, he's just storming into the dance hall and just swiping at people left and right with his chainsaw.
That is true, yeah. They usually tend to be a little more like a methodical kind of hunter-killer where they're stalking their prey as opposed to just wildly, running out and slashing.
Which is, I guess, what makes it feel more like the Evil Dead version of a slasher scene.
True, yeah.
Just go ahead, just swipe left and right, that's fine.
So I am kind of curious exactly, like, what Ash's, I guess, status with the law is at the moment.
Well, clearly the deputy was interested in him because, like, hey, that whole demon kid in the car is a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
And now there's several witnesses saying that he's been slashing teenagers.
Yeah.
That said, there's now several witnesses to seeing 2 of them. So, I mean, this will obviously conflict things. But I feel like they're probably still going to want to arrest them.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Cats are knocking stuff over.
Damn cats. Oh, that paid all too well.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I was just curious because like when you first see Ash dropping Brandy off at the dance, and like one of the kids goes like, "Oh, Ashy slashing," and then you see a cop kind of look over at him and get like a little interested. But I'm like, if they really do think that like he had like a dead, baby demon or not in his truck, don't you think like the cop would like run over instead of just kind of being like,
yeah,
maybe I should keep an eye on him.
It's worth mentioning when Brandy did like sort of drive him off from the sheriff an episode or two ago. They went to hide at his house. They didn't go somewhere else. Like they'll never think to look for us here. No, they went to his house, and his plan was to just keep the lights off. They won't know we're in.
But so I'm kind of curious as to like what that. I don't know what if they're really going to deal with that, but in a way, I kind of like don't want them to because again, it just feels like retreading stuff because they kind of did that in the first season.
I feel like it's more, if nothing else, it's more of a running gag where if it does get wrapped up, it'll get wrapped up quickly. Where they'll just see something that proves that it wasn't him. It's like, oh, Ash, we keep thinking you're up to no good, and all this time you're protecting us from the forces of darkness so well. So no, I thought it was a pretty solid episode. I still criticize the season plot overall for not being as maybe exciting as season 2's, but I think this was a solid episode with some good set moments. All the stuff with Ash, like walking down the hallways in school and the lights were flickering, and like the build up to the carnage, which was full on carnage. With her intestines hanging out and everything.
Yeah, I really like that kind of first scene where he goes after those like first two teenagers he runs into, and just the juxtaposition of him slaughtering them and then cutting to like the loud dance music of everyone on the dance floor, and then cutting back to the loud chainsaw like digging into him. That was well done.
And and just the end, the way it did that sort of quick flash cut between like Brandy like being held by Ash and then like cutting to her, and it sort of flashed back for like a couple of frames to her, and then like still with Ash, and then back to the foggy after Silent Hill world. So so that stuff's creepy. But no, good. So we'll see you next week how this progresses with episode 8. So we're getting late in the season, and we'll see what the end game starts to shape up to be. But that has been episode 7, so let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there. There's a link in the description. But otherwise, that is us, so thank you once again for watching. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, and we'll see you next time. Have you got any vanilla? I say that at the end of this.